But I can display the presentation if you wish.
No, I think I have here. Sorry, was a mistake. I don't know why. Sorry. Can you see now the presentation?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm going to talk a little about one tool that could be incorporated and will be incorporated in the project. It is Smart. This tool has been generated for different institutions, conservation institutions that they are working a lot to try to improve the data collection on different national park or conservation areas. Okay. You can see there a very important conservation organization that this give the opportunity to maintain this tool and to give support to have updated this tool. Well, this tool, Smart, it is possible to have very different approach. It was created mainly to thinking on the management or conservation area, but have evolved, and also is possible to be used to incorporate data from surveys and from monitoring of wildlife. This is, I think, it's an opportunity also for us. In Europe, there are not a lot of groups working with this app, but probably, and I don't know if you have any idea about this tool or have any notice, but the idea, I don't know if you did it previously, but there was other tool that is like a previous version, more or less, that is Cyber Tracker. Probably you know this application that has been used a lot in wildlife monitoring. But more or less, we can see that Smart is evolution of Cyber Tracker with other different functions, and now they are integrating all these functions together. It's possible to incorporate information from different things, but what we are going to try to focus in the project is to try to improve the data collection for the people that is working directly in the field. That is only to try to manage the data in a common way, to try to be sure that all the information that we are collecting is we are doing in the correct way. Okay. Okay, that's the idea with this plan is okay, data collection, the digitalization, sorry, is a mistake. The analysis, the evaluation after the planning, that to have this data in a very easy way to manage and to analyze and to take decision in a easy way. Okay, but also will be really interesting for us like a monitoring system. Okay, the Smart, you can use different device, tablets or phones to collect information on the field. This information can be stored in the device, but also it's possible to be shared. If you have internet connection, you can share to a server. Okay, in this server, it's possible to manage all the information from different persons, for different people in the team, for different areas, and this could be very interesting to try to avoid to lose information during the sampling. After this information go to the server, it's possible to download this information to a desktop software where you can manage this information and also to transform, to do different consults or different analysis to understand what are you doing in your conservation area. Also, these tools have different roles in similar way than Agouti, that you can give different right to different person depending on the function in the project. And also you have different, the possibility to digitalize other sources like notebooks in the fields or from Excel, also incorporate this information to the server and also to the desktop software. In this case, probably it's not possible to do it like internet, and then you have to have a direct connection with the desktop software. But also this information could be uploaded to the server and to be shared with other person of your team. And more or less, this is the general idea of the system, to try to get that all the information could be incorporated. What Smart allow is also to generate a list of institutions working in the case it could be interesting for your project, the employee list, the team group, and also the list of sampling stations. This is important also because sometimes it's important to know who is doing different sampling, for example, on the number of persons that could be any effect, for example, in the detectability of the species in the field. Okay. Well, when we have this one, we have to generate a data model. We have generated one data model based on the guides that the project developed some times ago for different species or for different methodologies. At the moment, we have only generated 3 of them. One is ready for the hunting data. This is more or less the same that you have to use to collect information about the drive counts or in your study areas. The other is about the distance. The methodology also very useful to obtain for some species the density, and also to collect data for camera trap sampling. More or less is some specific information that could be useful to have organized in a common way. Mainly, you are working with very different people in your study area. This model, the general model, we can generate patrols. Each specific surveys, the hunting data, the distance, and camera trap design could be considered as patrols, and it helps to collect information with your mobile device about this specific data. But in some case, it could be interesting to collect different specific or occurrence data that are not included in your sampling protocol, but could be interesting. I don't know, for example, you have when you are preparing the survey net for the camera trap, you see a wolf. You want to record this data. It's possible to incorporate like other independent database is the incidence in your device. Okay. This is a sample of the data model with different possibility, and also we can build and we can adapt this model to improve it, and also to consider in difference that you can consider interesting in the future. At the moment, you are finished the sampling, or you finished the sampling protocol. So at the moment, it's not urgent, but could be interesting for the next months also to evaluate this approach and to see if it is possible to be improved. Okay. More or less, what you will find in your mobile device is something similar. Okay. Let me show you like this screen that the different options with maps. It's possible to if you are connected to internet, it's possible to use different maps that are in different servers to use in the field. But also, if you don't have internet connection, it's possible to have some base layers to be used in offline mode, and also different setting. One of the setting is possible to change the language of the app. In most of the cases in English, but you have a very different language for the main structure of the app. Also, it's possible in Spanish, Italian, Polish, in Greek, and probably in different languages. But what if you are interested in that all the data that we are collecting to be translated, is necessary to perform this translation. That is not very complicated, and with Excel file is possible to manage easily. If you consider that you need, because for your team it's very complicated to work in English, it's possible to translate all the data model to this other language. So it's possible. We can discuss also if you need it necessary for your team. And then you generate different projects with the app. This app is possible to download from Android, and also for iOS it's possible also, I think. I don't test it, but it's possible. And then we can send you the package of the project with this information, okay, to try to incorporate within the app. Well, more or less, here you have a short idea. It's possible to collect some information about metadata, about the survey that you are doing, what is the transport. If you are working, for example, with distance sampling, and you can do it using, I don't know, in bicycle, or you can do it in a car, then it's possible to incorporate all this metadata information: who is the team, who is the person working, the study area, what is the objective, which are the people working in the sampling. It's possible to work one person doing the sampling, or 2, 3, or 4 person, and it's possible to incorporate this information in the metadata. Here you have more or less different options for this project that we developed for distance tracking, hunting data, and camera trap with different options. I will review quickly, more or less. This is the sampling with different options. The point kilometric is like a milestone in your track. The species with different options, the distance from the observed animal, the bearing, some comments and some data related with the age and the sex of the animal. You will see that we don't have all these species, but it's possible to include different species for different regions, and also to manage, because I don't have Barbary sheep in my region. I don't like this species. It's possible to shadow or to blur this species for your study area. Okay. But it's possible to incorporate different species to be incorporated in the database. Okay, it's not a problem. It's very easy to do it, and we can solve it in some hours. Okay. About the hunting data, for example, here we have more or less the same information that you were collecting for the drive counting of animals: the IV, the name, the paths of the drive, the species, number of sighted individuals, the number of hunting individuals, comments, and some data about the beaters, dogs, the effort where the hunter is doing in this study area. Okay, it's a way to collect this information in an easy way. And for camera trap, that probably could be more interesting. We have the photos. It's possible to pick up some information about the photos, about the habitat, or any other important or different things. At the moment, I think we can pick up 10 photos for location. It's possible to modify, I think, but probably 10 photos is more than enough to do it. The device ID, the sampling action, if you are biting or not. This is depend of the sampling. In our case, we don't use to bait, but in some cases could be interesting to have this information. The bearing of the camera trap, the height, the calibration. Here we can use different options, if it is analogical, artificial intelligence, not performance, or different incidents during the data collection. For example, the car malfunction, or camera remove it or remove it, or any other comment that could be interesting to be recorded for the data. After that, this information is uploaded to the server, and in the server, in the desktop software that is also available. There are a lot of details with this point, because it's necessary because we are working now with a beta version of the Smart, with a 7.4 in this moment for this project, and they are improving this app. So one important point is we have to coordinate to change the version of the desktop and the server after the final version of the more stable version was available, because the previous version is the 6.3, I think, and this one have some difficulties to be connected with the server. So, well, this is a beta version, but probably will be solved in the next weeks or in the next month, I hope. And from this software, desktop software, it's possible to collect information. It's very similar like the HIS software. And also it's possible to have all the information. One of these point is a survey that with information about the metadata, but also of the observation, and it's possible to manage this information to transform in a plain test and also to incorporate for other kind of analysis if you need, okay? So more or less the idea is not is to complement the tools that we have in the project. That is not don't do any different, well, any function that previously we had in the project. So I think it's interesting for everybody to try to use this approach. About the organization of the information, we can looking for different ways, but at the moment we have this information in a server for the observatory, wildlife observatory. But the idea is to generate different specific sub-projects within the server. This means that its conservation area could have their own conservation area that they can manage in the best way that they consider that. The idea is only to help you to collect the information to have available. That in this moment we don't have any specific interest in the information you are collecting. Mainly is one information that could be useful for you to organize the data. So the idea is to generate a specific conservation area for each study area. You can use the data model that we have generated or we can generate for the future, because it's possible to incorporate other data. For example, probably in the next month we are considering the possibility of collect data related with pathogens or similar things, that in this case is possible to generate a new sub-data model and incorporate this data model in your study area to help you to collect this kind of information, okay? So, okay, more or less this is the idea. At the moment, I think it's not urgent to beginning to work with this app, mainly because you are finishing the sampling protocol that you did with Camera Trap. But I think could be interesting to discuss this point and to see how is the best way to use this app and also to take advantage of the potentiality that Smart can have for you, okay?